Ever felt like you're trapped in a language learning loop? You download all the apps, you dutifully memorize vocabulary lists, you even spend hours repeating phrases. But when it comes time to actually speak, you freeze, you stumble, you feel like a 5-year-old trying to explain quantum physics. It's frustrating, isn't it? That sinking feeling when you try to connect with someone in their native tongue only to have your brain just give up. What if I told you that most of us are approaching language learning entirely wrong? What if the conventional wisdom is actually holding you back? And what if there was a secret weapon, a mental hack, discovered by one of the greatest minds of the 20th century that could turbocharge your language acquisition by up to 27 times? Sounds almost too good to be true, right? But stick with me, because today we're diving into Feynman's secret, a revolutionary approach that will not only make you learn faster, but truly understand and master any language you desire. This isn't just about memorizing words, it's about rewiring your brain for fluency. If you're ready to unlock your true language potential and ditch the frustration for good, you're in the right place. Let's talk about Richard Feynman. This wasn't just any physicist. He was a Nobel laureate, a maverick, a storyteller, and an absolute genius at simplifying complex ideas. Feynman had an uncanny ability to distill dense scientific theories into digestible concepts that anyone could grasp. His secret wasn't some magic potion or a hidden formula. It was a profound understanding of how we truly learn, how we truly know something. And while he applied it to physics, the principles are universally applicable, especially to something as intricate and human as language. Feynman understood that true learning isn't about repeating words until they stick. It's about building a robust, interconnected web of understanding in your mind. And that, my friends, is the foundation of our ultimate language hack. So, how do we apply the brilliance of Feynman to conquer Spanish, Japanese, French, or any other language on your bucket list? It boils down to 3 core principles, 3 mental shifts that will transform your learning journey. Let's break them down. Principle number 1, visualize it, don't translate it. Learn like a child. Think about how children learn. When a toddler hears the word dog, they don't mentally translate it to perro or chien. They see a furry creature wagging its tail, they hear a bark, they feel its soft fur, and they experience the joy of playing fetch. The word dog is directly linked to a living, breathing experience, a vivid image, a rich sensory input. There's no intermediary step. Now think about us as adults. We're conditioned to translate. We see a new Spanish word, coche, and immediately our brain screams, car. That's it. We've just created an unnecessary mental detour. Every time you encounter coche, your brain has to first go to car in English, then access the concept of a vehicle. This isn't just inefficient, it's actively building a mental barrier, slowing down your processing speed and making it harder to think directly in the new language. You're essentially training your brain to be a slow, clunky translator, not a fluent speaker. So, the first Feynman-inspired language hack is this: bind words to images and experiences, not translations. Stop translating, start visualizing. When you learn coche, don't write down car next to it. Instead, close your eyes. Picture yourself behind the wheel of a sleek, powerful coche. Feel the leather, hear the engine roar, imagine the open road ahead. Make it vivid, make it real. This works beautifully for concrete nouns, but what about abstract concepts? Words like freedom, happiness, or justice? Don't just translate libertad to freedom. Instead, imagine what libertad feels like to you. Is it standing on a mountain peak, arms outstretched, wind whipping through your hair? Is it the quiet moment you realize you can finally pursue your dreams? Is it the feeling of a heavy burden being lifted? Connect the word directly to an emotional, sensory experience. This builds a powerful, direct neural pathway in your brain, bypassing that clunky translation process entirely. To put this into practice, ditch the old-school flashcards with a word on one side and its translation on the other. Instead, use apps like Anki or even physical flashcards, but on one side, put the word in your target language, and on the other, put a vivid image, a drawing, or even a symbolic icon that represents the concept. Your brain remembers pictures far, far better than text. It's primal. It's how children learn, and it's how you will learn, exponentially faster. Principle number 2, explain it. If you can't teach it, you don't understand it. This is the absolute core of the Feynman technique, and it's where the magic truly happens. Our brains are incredibly good at tricking us. We read something, we listen to something, and we think we understand it. We passively consume information and believe it has sunk in. But true understanding, deep comprehension, only reveals itself when you try to articulate that knowledge. As Feynman himself famously said, the first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. When you try to explain a concept in your own words, it forces your brain to do several critical things. It organizes the information, identifies gaps in your knowledge, and synthesizes it into a coherent narrative. This isn't just about repetition, it's about active reconstruction. And in language learning, this principle is a game changer. So, the second hack is to explain it aloud. Teach what you're learning. Here's how you can implement this in 3 progressive levels. Level 1. Teach yourself, the mirror and the microphone. Start by explaining a new word, a grammatical rule, or a sentence structure to yourself, out loud, in your target language. Stand in front of a mirror and pretend you're teaching a class. Or even better, record your voice. Don't just say the word, explain its meaning, how it's used, and give example sentences. For instance, if you're learning the Spanish subjunctive, don't just memorize conjugations. Explain why the subjunctive is used. Okay, so the subjunctive is for expressing doubt, emotion, wish, and uncertainty. Like, I hope that you are well, not you are well as a fact. It's about perception, not objective reality. You'll stumble. You'll realize you don't quite know the why or when, and those stumbles are pure gold. They are the exact spots where your understanding is weak, showing you precisely where to focus your review. Don't be afraid to sound silly. You're building fluency. Level 2. Teach an uninformed friend or your pet. Once you're comfortable explaining to yourself, try explaining to someone who knows absolutely nothing about the language. This could be a patient friend, a family member, or even your dog or cat. Why? Because you can't use jargon. You can't rely on shared understanding. You are forced to simplify, to use analogies, to find the clearest, most fundamental way to convey the information. Imagine trying to explain the gender of nouns in French to someone who doesn't even know what a noun is. You'd have to break it down. Okay, so in French, every object has a gender, masculine or feminine. It doesn't mean the table is male, it's just how the language classifies it. And this affects the words around it. This process of simplification deepens your own understanding immeasurably. And yes, talking to your pet is surprisingly effective. They're great listeners, and their blank stares force you to be even clearer. Level 3. Teach an actual learner or tutor, real-world feedback. Finally, seek out opportunities to explain what you've learned to someone who is also learning the language, or better yet, a native speaker tutor. This is where you get real-time feedback. They can correct your mistakes, clarify nuances, and push your understanding even further. You might think you understand a phrase, but when you try to explain it to someone else, a native speaker might say, we would actually say it this way for that specific context. This is invaluable. This is where your knowledge transforms from theoretical to practical. Now, a quick word on something that holds many of us back: the fear of making mistakes. When you're explaining something out loud, especially to another person, the fear of sounding dumb or saying something wrong can be paralyzing. But here's the truth. Mistakes are not failures, they are signposts. Every single error you make is a golden opportunity. It's your brain highlighting exactly where the wires are crossed, where the knowledge is incomplete. Embrace your mistakes, laugh at them, then learn from them. The Feynman technique thrives on identifying these gaps, not on pretending they don't exist. It's about making your learning journey visible and actionable. Principle number 3, focus deeply. Less is more. The Pomodoro Power-Up. How many times have you sat down to study for an hour only to find your mind wandering, checking your phone every 5 minutes or scrolling through social media? You think you're studying, but you're actually just wasting time, engaging in what I call pseudo-work. Your brain isn't designed for sustained, low-intensity, distracted effort. It's designed for intense, focused bursts. Richard Feynman was famous for his periods of intense, unbroken concentration. He understood that true deep work isn't about the quantity of hours, but the quality of focus within those hours. When you scatter your attention, your brain constantly has to re-engage, losing precious mental energy and making it impossible to form strong neural connections. This is why you can study for 2 hours with distractions and learn less than someone who studied for 30 minutes with absolute focus. So, our third hack is to cultivate absolute focus. Less is more. This isn't just about trying to focus, it's about structuring your learning environment and time to make focus inevitable. This is where the Pomodoro technique comes into play. You might have heard of it, but are you truly applying it? Here's the deal. Set a timer for 30 minutes. For those 30 minutes, your only task is to learn your target language. Turn off all notifications. Close all irrelevant browser tabs. Put your phone in another room. Silence distractions. Dive deep into a specific language task, whether it's learning new vocabulary using the visualization method, practicing your explanation technique, or immersing yourself in authentic content. When the 30 minutes are up, take a full 10-minute break. Get up, stretch, grab a drink, look out the window, let your mind wander freely. This break isn't just for rest, it's crucial for your brain to consolidate the information you just learned. Why 30 minutes? It's long enough to get into a flow state, but short enough to be manageable without burnout. And the 10-minute break is essential. It allows your diffuse mode of thinking to kick in, helping to connect new information with existing knowledge, strengthening those neural pathways. After your 10-minute break, you repeat the cycle. Another 30 minutes of intense focus, another 10-minute break. Think of focus like a muscle. You wouldn't expect to lift 200 pounds on your first day at the gym. Similarly, you might not be able to do a full 30-minute Pomodoro right away. Start small. Try 15 minutes of focused work, followed by a 5-minute break. Build up your focus muscle gradually. Over time, you'll be amazed at how much deeper and more effectively you can learn in these concentrated bursts. You'll actually learn more in a few focused Pomodoros than in hours of distracted studying. This isn't about willpower, it's about strategic environment design. We've now covered the 3 pillars of Feynman's language hack: visualize it, don't translate it, explain it aloud, and focus deeply in short, intense bursts. These aren't just isolated tips, they're interconnected principles that work in synergy to fundamentally change how your brain processes and retains new linguistic information. This isn't about chasing fleeting apps or relying on quick fixes. This is about understanding the fundamental mechanics of how your brain learns and leveraging that knowledge. Imagine the power you unlock when every new word immediately conjures a vivid image, when every new grammatical concept you internalize is solidified by the act of teaching it, and when every study session is a laser-focused dive into accelerated learning. For many of you, especially in the 1844 age range in the US and globally, learning a new language isn't just a hobby. It's a gateway. It's a passport to incredible travel experiences, to deeper cultural immersion that goes beyond the tourist traps. It's a superpower for your career in an increasingly globalized world, opening doors to international opportunities and enhanced communication. It's a profound act of personal growth, challenging your mind and expanding your worldview. You're not just learning words, you're expanding your identity, your capabilities, your very connection to humanity. And the best part? You can start applying these principles right now. Don't wait, don't overthink it. Let's do a quick challenge together. Close your eyes for a moment. Think of a word you want to learn in your target language. Let's say it's adventure. Aventura in Spanish. Don't translate it. Instead, feel the adventure. Picture yourself hiking a breathtaking trail, climbing a mountain, exploring a vibrant new city. Feel the thrill, the excitement, the wonder. Open your eyes. Did you feel that direct connection? That's the power of visualization. That's the first step. Now, take that word or any new word you've recently learned and try explaining it aloud to yourself. Use it in a sentence. Explain what it means without defaulting to English. If you stumble, if you realize you don't know it as well as you thought, that's fantastic. You just found a gap, and now you know exactly what to revisit. This isn't about magic. It's about intelligent, intentional learning. It's about working smarter, not just harder. It's about leveraging the incredible, often untapped, power of your own brain. You have the capacity to learn any language you desire. The question isn't if you can, but how you will. And with Feynman's secret, you're now armed with the ultimate hack. So, what's the very first word or phrase you're going to apply these methods to today? Share it in the comments below. I want to hear your breakthroughs, your aha moments, and your success stories. If this video has ignited a spark in your language learning journey, if it's given you a fresh perspective and powerful tools, then hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on more game-changing insights for learning and personal growth. Your linguistic mastery isn't just a dream, it's a skill waiting to be unlocked. Go out there and make it happen.